for having us down here. This is one of my favorite topics to cover. One, because I'm a geek at heart. I like technology, I like tools, but at the same time, I've been in education since '95. And unfortunately, I've seen some young folks make pretty drastic, bad decisions when it comes to social media. So this is not a lecture today. We want this to be as interactive as possible. So we're gonna kind of talk. You can ask questions. We're gonna try and make this as engaging as possible. So before we start, I am curious, who can identify some of the little icons that we have up here? Wow, this is great. I love interaction. All right, so let's start with this one. Facebook. How many people use Facebook? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. How about this one? Snapchat. Wow. Okay. All right. Snapchat's got the lock on the market so far. How about this one? Just about everybody in the Instagram world. Okay. Next one. Twitter. Where are my Twitter folks? All right. Paramount. Let's go this one. Kick. Kick seems a lot more popular up top. Okay. All right. So we've got, who's my group down here? 8. Okay. So you guys are 6. All right. How about this one? Ask them. Okay. All right. That's one I just found out about last week. All right. Good. So most of you, just about everybody uses at least one of them. So that makes for an interesting part of our conversation. So why am I here? All right. My entire point for being here is to make you guys and gals more aware of what's out there. All right. Typically, you guys don't have to be aware. You're used to being able to share with your friends, have conversation, and not have to worry about kind of that long-term stuff that adults talk about all the time. So this is to kind of give you a little bit of kind of look into what actually happens to that stuff that you share. But I don't want anybody to walk out of here paranoid. Okay? So that is the whole thing. Now, did my name come up at dinner a couple of weeks ago in any of your houses? No? Okay, in a couple. All right. I'm that guy, okay, that your parents talked about. I'm that guy. So you're going to find out what we told them. All right. But I don't want anybody to walk out of here paranoid. Right? I still think all this stuff is good stuff when used properly. Okay? So somebody give me the your version. What do you guys think social media is? Mason, can you be my runner in the back? Mason's going to be my runner on this. Tell me your textbook definition of social media.
Hashtags.
Hashtags?
Talking to people.
Okay.
On the internet.
Okay. Talking to folks on the internet?
Shout out. Shout outs.
Okay. All right, so basically for communication, right?
Yes, communication.
Sharing with your friends, communication. All right, that's pretty much the textbook definition. All right, so we're going to talk about something that you may or may not know about in social engineering, and kind of how that works. Typically, it comes out of social media. So the whole idea behind social media is I want to get you to do something, whether that's show up at a sporting event, buy a product, use an application. That's all social engineering. So I acknowledge the fact that you all were probably born with a cell phone in your hand. All right, you are used to being connected to the internet. You're used to being able to have instant access to information. All right, when I was in college in the 90s, I had to spend days in the library finding what you guys can find in about 30 seconds on Google. All right, so it's a very different dynamic. You have access to a tremendous amount of information, and you contribute a tremendous amount of information. Hopefully, when you walk out of here today, you'll have a little bit more awareness of how that information is being used to get you to do something. Okay? We're going to talk about how you can protect yourself and your friends. I'm sure everyone in here has a story of whether it's cyberbullying or something said on the internet. Everyone's got their story. So hopefully, you'll walk out of here with a little bit more information on how to combat that. All right, you guys have something right now that is one of your most valuable assets, whether you know it or not, and that's your reputation. Okay? That right now is one of your most valuable assets. I can't tell you how many people I've seen, and Mason can share with you how many of his peers he has seen destroy their reputation via social media. Okay? And we're going to give you a couple of examples of how that actually happens. And it's very difficult, sometimes impossible, to fix it. All right, so you're in the perfect spot right now. Plan now, and you won't have a problem later on. So I think we've kind of established kind of social media is pervasive for you all. It's everywhere. How many people, it's probably a shorter show of hands, how many people don't carry a smartphone with them during the day? Well, let me rephrase that. How many people don't have a smartphone at all? Okay. All right. You folks, I applaud you folks. You're in great shape. All right, so I'm going to, because I talked to you already, I'm going to pick when can you have a smartphone?
18.
18. All right. Some of my other folks that 14, and why can't you have one yet? You don't know? No one told you? Okay. Okay, so there's precedent. All right, but no reason why? Okay. How about?
I wouldn't have an iPad until I was 15.
Okay. All right. Friends at the top. Red shirt. Okay. All right, so you got to get your own. All right. Friend in blue? 17, and why? Just because. You can have one when you're 17, no reason? Okay. Well, maybe you'll know. Maybe I'll share with you a little bit of reasons. Okay. All right. All right, so my interpretation, and I don't have kids yet, but I work with kids every day. So my interpretation is you guys are the content. This is the first time in web history in the past couple of years, I'm that old school internet generation. I consume content. I read news, I look at the weather, sports scores, that type of thing. You all contribute the content, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Kik, whatever it is, you are the content. What you say is what goes up there, what your friends consume. So the folks that don't have phones yet, you're not contributing content. And that may be a good thing, right? And we'll look at why. All right. Anybody follow news? Parents make you watch it in the morning. I would say read the newspaper, but nobody does that anymore. Okay? So what's kind of it? So we're using the internet to find information, right? It's this great big repository of all this great stuff, whether it's for a school project or whatever it is you're looking for, you can find it. All right, so there's a lot of stuff that's out there. So how many people have read headlines of data stolen, bank accounts compromised, and all this other fun stuff, right? Okay, just about everybody. It's a fact of life for you all. So all of that stuff that you hear about, someone has found a way to get to it through the internet. All right, so that's what Mason's going to major in next year when he goes off to school, is how that works. And to hopefully protect, I'm the old guy now, so protect me, and then protect all of you as you're coming up. So if I asked you to do some internet research, give me a tool that you would use to do internet research. Wikipedia, okay. Google. How about over here in the corner? Wow, you can tell me what that one is. I haven't even heard of that one.
It's a search website where whenever you search on it, it takes one to the
Okay, that's a new one. Yahoo?
Siri.
Siri? Oh, Siri. I love Siri. Friend in the back, blue?
Bing.
Yep. Bing, yes. All right, so so Google and Bing are the two big ones that I want to concentrate on. This is why I love doing these type of presentations, because you all get the information I haven't heard yet. So that's great. All right, so what can we do with these wonderful search engines? All right, we kind of went through this. Just about everybody in here uses one of those tools. Somewhere along the way, everyone uses it. Now let's do the split. How many have iPhones? Right? How about Android devices? How many have Android devices? All right, the iPhone is the winner. All right. So that's why Siri is so popular. The iPhone is the winner, etc. Okay. All right. Quiz. Can somebody tell me why parents tell you? Because I told them? Okay, so I'm going to hold, you can answer, but I'm going to hold on for 1 second. If you know, if your parents saw me before, you can't answer yet. Somebody tell me why smartphones are GPS enabled. You can pick, Mason.
If you lose your kid, you can find them.
If you lose your kid, you can find them. That wasn't the real reason. That's something you can do with it.
So the like IRS and FBI can find you.
They do use
track
it.
you like all the police.
They use it.
So that you don't have to look down at like a GPS and they end up crashing. Like the little phone can just talk to you and know what's wrong.
The navigation. Okay. All right, so we're gonna reveal the real reason. My friend here, since you know the answer, you can tell me. What's the real reason? I'm sorry? Okay. All right, so I'll give you the real reason. All right. How many people here do not have a regular telephone line in your house anymore? You only have cell phones. Okay, so here's the real reason, and it's based off of that. In the olden days, when people only had landlines and you called 911 for help, they could find your house just based off your landline. Well, what happened was when cell phones became a lot cheaper, people didn't have landlines anymore. So when they dialed 911, if you were incapacitated and couldn't talk, they had no way to find you. So GPS chips were put into phones so that if you dialed 911 and couldn't speak, they could still find you. Now, as a byproduct of that, with that chip being in there, all these other apps that we've talked about can use that GPS data. So the FBI, the IRS, the navigation that you use on your phone to get you places. When you check in somewhere on Facebook and when you walk into a location, all that is using that GPS chip on your phone. Okay? So that's an important thing to remember of why it started, and then we'll talk about what happened next. So here's one of my favorite questions when I do this. There's two favorite questions. Why do you all use the internet? And you've already told me to talk with your friends, so we're going to take that one off the table. Entertainment. TV. Sports highlights. Homework. School. Shopping. All right, lots of different stuff. So the internet's used for everything, right? That's the point. It's used for everything. Okay. Privacy and control. Privacy and control. Do you think what you put on the internet is in any way private? Can you control what people see? How many people think yes, you can? Yes, I can control it, and yes, it's private.
It's not private.
Okay? How many people say no way, you can't do it? Okay, we're about 50-50. All right, so if you walk away with anything today, the answer is no. Nothing you put out there is private, and you can't control anything. And I'm going to prove that to you. Okay? So anything you put out there, one, it's out there for good, and two, anybody can see it. Right? And folks like Mason that are going to school for this stuff, they're being trained on how to find it. Because the other two tools that we talked about, Google and Bing, they make their money on how to search for information. All right, so if I had Google when I was in college, I would have gotten months of my life back from not being in the library. All right, so I can't wait to see what you guys are able to do in college because you've got tremendous access. All right, so the folks that have one of the social media tools, what do you guys share? What do you guys put up? Pictures of? Anything, okay? What else? What you're currently doing. So give me an example. Okay. Okay. And with a hashtag, of course. How about on the top? Food. I'm sorry? I missed that one. Picture, okay, pictures. about anybody else down here? What do you guys share? What do you put up? Shoes? Okay.
Yep.
Over here, I'm going to pick on people now. What do you guys put up? Okay, so you're one of my Twitter guys. Not anymore. Okay, why not? Bored. Okay, that's, I'm going to come back to that. So you guys put up just about everything. Now, I'll come back to that. So, how many of you put apps on your phone?
Oh,
Okay. So, when you go to install an app, does anybody ever read the stuff for the app? Does anybody read it? You do? Thank you. Thank you. You're my new hero. All right. I've unfortunately put a label on you, on your generation, so this is very unfair of me, but I'll tell you what my label is. You guys are the next finished generation. You see a box, and you say, next. I just want the app. Next. Finish. Install. Right? I just want to use it. I don't care what it's asking. All right. For my future lawyers in here, you'll probably write stuff like this, but my advice to you is read it. All right, 2 examples. This is just a little app that we picked. It's called Hello World. But the reason I picked it is because it's asking you, when you install this app, you are telling this app it is okay to use your GPS location. You're allowing me to figure out exactly where you are at any given time that the app maker wants to. Okay? So some apps need it. If you're checking in with Facebook or if you're on Twitter, when you send that tweet or put the post up, it puts a dot on the map. You are here. Sometimes you're where you're supposed to be, and sometimes you're not. Right? So about 6 months ago or so, anybody have the flashlight app on their phone? Okay. How many people read the little install guide for flashlight? All right. Hopefully you got the right one. About 6 months ago, there was a really bad app. It was in the Google Play Store. Most of you are iPhone users. But in the Google Play Store, that was a flashlight. That's what it did. But when you installed it, it said, you're giving us access to your call data, your email, your GPS location, basically everything on your phone. And everyone went, okay, finish. I'm going to install it. And at that point, it transmitted all that stuff back to somebody else. All right? Read what you put on there. It was designed to trick you. Yes, it turned the little flashlight on. I've got a flashlight. This is great. But at the same time, you gave lots of people access to information they have no business having. All right, so again, we talk about things that you think are private. All right, you told that app it was okay to access what you have on your phone. And I'm not going to make you raise your hands, but just think to yourself, how many of you have stuff on your phone that you don't want anybody else to see? All right, I see, you don't have to raise your hands, but I'm assuming a lot of you. All right? When you install stuff like that, you tell it it's okay for other people to grab that information. All right, so privacy and control, forget about it, it doesn't exist. Especially when you tell it it's okay. I know there's not a lot of Facebook users in here, but I want to prove a point. How many of you, so my Facebook users that are in here, how many of you have actually spent the time and looked at your privacy settings in Facebook? Good. I applaud you for that. How many of your parents got involved in that decision? Good. How many of you are friends with your parents on Facebook? Unfriended them. Unfriended them. Okay. Why? You didn't want them seeing what you were doing, right? More or less. Okay. All right. Good. Well, that's honest, and I like honest. Okay. How many of your parents have your Facebook password? Wow. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Parents like to know what you're doing. All right? If you think that just because you unfriended them, that they're not going to see what you're doing, think again. There's ways around that too. Okay. This person, and I'm gonna, hopefully nobody in here knows who this person is, but I just went out to Facebook, did a search for random people that have 0 privacy settings. So let's look about what we know about this young lady. Her full name, her birth date, where she works, where she lives, all of her friends, and there were a multitude of posts down there that I didn't pull because some of them weren't really appropriate. But the point is, I could sit here and read this and pretty much know her, make a phone call, and she'd think I'm a long-lost friend. Let me be clear. I know there are times when you're approached by people you have no idea who they are via the internet, and it doesn't take much to get to know you very quickly. The amount of stuff that you guys share is surprising. I'll be honest, it's very surprising. So when we talk about privacy and control, I would put money that there are topics that you will discuss in an online forum that you wouldn't sit there and talk to your parents about. Guaranteed. Right? I see heads. Yeah, you're right. But you've put it online. So it's very easy for your parents to go and read it, or anyone else for that matter. So if it's something that you would discuss with a close friend, a trusted adult, or your parents, my question to you is, why do you put it on the internet? Okay. So think about that. Yeah, you got it?
Because it's funny.
It's funny? Okay. Be more specific. Okay. Anybody else want to try it out? You don't have to give me an answer. Something I want you to think about.
Because you think they're not going to see it.
That's right. Most of that in most cases. Most cases. Go ahead. I can do that for you.
Okay. The thing is, like, I don't, because I know this, and I know that whatever I put on there can be seen by anybody. So I just don't, and I don't know why people put random, ridiculous stuff on there that's inappropriate or rude. Because you should know that everybody's going to see it. I mean, it's the internet. So I don't.
That's right. That's good. That's a good spot to be. Who had a hand? Up top. Okay. So you guys just vent online and think people aren't going to take the time. I've heard that one before too.
I agree with her, just don't, because I didn't have anything on the first screen except the smartphone, and the condition was I didn't get any of the apps that you do the pictures or anything, because that's what my friends were telling me a while ago. It's okay, no one's going to see it. Their privacy settings would make think that would work that well. So, yeah.
So for my Facebook users, I ask you, please check your privacy settings so you're not broadcasting. When I checked the stats a couple of days ago, there were over 1 billion people on Facebook. Billion with a B. All right, if your settings are wide open, you're sharing whatever it is with all 1 billion people. Some people like to share that much, some people don't. It's a personal decision. I personally don't. So where are my Kik users? Okay. Somebody explain to me what the fascination is with Kik. Okay. So do you talk to people you know or don't know? Not anymore. Okay. Okay. Might be creepy people. That's a good description. There's a lot of creepy people. All right. So Kik is one that I've been looking at. So there's something with Kik in a couple of slides I'm going to show you. I just wanted to get an idea. So Kik basically will allow you to text, do video, do pictures. It's like a lot of other pieces of social media, but it's really gained some traction with about 30 million folks using it right now. And I know that it's become a little popular, at least in this area. It's weird because in the Baltimore area, this isn't popular at all. Down here, it seems to be extremely popular. So it's kind of regional. But we'll talk about some other things here in a second. So my Instagram folks, where are my Instagram folks? Okay. All right. Yay, Instagram. So let me give you some interesting facts about Instagram. And I'll ask you this. Do you all pay anything to use social media? No. Okay. So I will put this for you to think about. If you don't pay for anything, if it's a free service, should you have any expectation that they're going to, the company that is, care about your privacy or what you put up there? Not at all. That is correct. They don't care. It's a free service, right? You can't call anybody up and say, wait a minute, it's not working, or I want you to take that picture. You didn't pay me anything to do this, so why would I do that? But Facebook is a publicly traded company. They're in to make money. They bought Instagram for $1 billion. So they are making money off of it, right? And they're making money off of it from everyone in here. When you contribute content, remember, you're the content. When you're contributing that content, they reuse all your stuff, okay? So they're making money off of you every day. Instagram photos, you probably know this. If not, I'm going to prove it to you. All the photos are publicly searchable. I know there's ways to say, I want my account to be private. Okay, great. That works for about 5 minutes until we can get around that. So everything is publicly searchable. We talked about the GPS. All the photos are tagged with the GPS coordinates. So if you take that photo here at Severn and upload it, I got you on the map. All right, you're a little pin dot on the map of where you were when you took that photo. It's almost like you saw my next bullet point. You can turn it off, but you have to turn it off. It's a checkbox. How many people read the checkbox? All right, thank you. At least somebody does. You're making me feel much better. All right, now here's the serious part. All right, I have seen several cases where people create fake accounts and then use them to cyberbully other people. Okay, this is where you guys are in charge of this. It starts with you. How many people realize by creating, number one, it's against the law on a couple of levels. To create a fake account is against the law. Chances of being prosecuted are slim, but it's still against the law. And then cyberbullying is against the law as well. And I'm sure, again, everyone in here has their story. It starts with you guys. If you see it, you got to report it. And that's where Ms. Ford comes in. Okay? If you see it, report it. There are ways, there are folks we can contact to hopefully get some of that in. So to prove my point, you guys are very predictable when it comes to what you take pictures of. So there's a live feed on the internet that indexes all photos as they come through Instagram. So and I can probably tell that most of these were taken by younger folks because everyone takes pictures of the dog, the cat, the tree, and stuff outside. It's predictable. But to my friend up here in the front, you said there's creepy people on the internet, right? So there's creepy people that watch these photos, okay? And remember, if you don't turn the GPS off, it's tagged. If it's tagged, Instagram usually comes along with what else? What else do you guys link to your Instagram account most of the time?
Email.
Everything, Kik especially. All right, I usually see Kik and Instagram intertwined with each other, okay? So again, if you're posting photos, people are watching, and you get the creepy person asking you questions on the internet, if you don't know them, don't respond to them. Right? I have a general rule of thumb that I use. I actually, this is not my quote. I would not be friends with anyone on Facebook that I wouldn't invite to my house for dinner. So when I see folks with 5,000 friends, do you really know 5,000 people? Okay. I'm lucky I can remember 30 or 40 people. But that's my general rule of thumb. These are some of my favorite photos. All right. This guy decided to take a picture of his passport and post it. All right. I'm glad. All right. I'm glad you're all laughing. Now, Mason, what's the number one thing high school pictures post, or high school folks post on Instagram?
Driver's license.
Driver's license. All right. Please don't post your driver's license. It's got everything. Name, address, it's got everything. Don't, you guys are going to be in the driver's seat soon. Don't post pictures of your driver's license. I'm sure we can all share for an hour about dumb things you've seen your friends post on Instagram. IDs are one of the number one things. Don't do it. Don't do it. Where are my Snapchat users? Yeah. All right. One of my favorite quotes. I'm going to make you read a little bit today. All right. Here's possible teenagers are more likely using the app to safely explore that sort of silly, unguarded, and sometimes unwise ideas. You guys never have unwise or silly ideas. All right. But I want to underline the word safely. All right. That is not true. There is no such thing as it goes away. All right, safe on the internet. It's not a reality. Snapchat is so simple to grab whatever is out there that you think disappears in 5 seconds. It doesn't go anywhere. Mason's got a little story for you on Snapchat.
All right. How many of you guys know how to take a screenshot with your iPhone? So, as you know, Snapchat, you can easily take a screenshot of the picture that comes up on your screen. Right? It's kind of hard to do because you have to hold your finger on the screen, but you can screenshot stuff. So, a couple months ago, I won't name the school, but there was an 8th grade girl who sent a nude picture to a senior at her school through Snapchat, thinking that it was going to disappear in 5 seconds once it went away. And he screenshotted it, sent it to his friend, and it ended up going across the entire school. 15 kids were expelled. She was suspended for 2 weeks, and it's spread to other schools now, so other kids are getting picked up for it. But you guys need to know that this isn't something that, once it's gone after the 10 seconds or however long you sent it for, it's disappeared because it's not.
It sticks around. So, a couple things about Twitter for you guys and gals who use Twitter. What happens once you put something on Twitter? How long does it stay there? Forever. I like the word forever. Where does it go? In a database. I heard somebody say it. Where's it go? Heard it. I hear it. Library of Congress. It ends up in the Library of Congress. So here's the interesting part. All right, the Library of Congress houses all this great American history, right? The U.S. government feels that your contribution to society is now digital, so they're taking all that content that you're creating and storing it. All right, so we go back to our word we started, reputation. Think about this. The stuff you're posting now, today, tomorrow, is going to follow you basically forever. All right? Your reputation is now stored digitally. If you screw it up, it's very difficult to fix it. All right? That stuff is staying out. Now, this is the Severance School Twitter page, and I read your mission statement. Focused on character, conduct, and scholarship. Now, here's what I did. I went to the follow of who's following Severance School. There's a lot of students on there, and there's a lot of students on their Twitter account that do not reflect that mission statement. Is that the reputation that you guys want? No. All right. So if you walk out of here with anything today, think about what you share. All right. So
Can I ask you a quick question?
yes, you can. Absolutely.
So you went onto the Twitter, the Severance Twitter
Yes.
feed. How hard was it for you to take note that not everyone was posting things consistent with the mission statement? Did that take any hacking, cyber security expertise?
Went right to the followers, and again, Twitter's public. And I looked for pictures. Everybody has their little picture, so I looked for a picture of what I assumed to be, a student. Clicked on the picture. There's the full profile. I'm a 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grader at Severance School. Here's my open Facebook page. Here's my Instagram account. I just clicked. All right, it didn't take me long. I feel like I know you all very well, especially some of you, based off what you've shared and some of the photos you put up there. I did nothing to hack. I clicked through it.
Is that
I just
unusual for school, or is that typical?
This is typical. This is typical. So this is exactly the reason why Mason and I do these types of presentations. All right, he just went through the college admission process. This stuff's going to follow you. I used to wear a college admissions hat, and this is one of the first places I go. Does the college essay I have here match the Facebook profile and the photos here? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Okay? So just to give you a point about Twitter, I'm going to pick on, this is in my backyard at Loyola. This is Towson University. So the little T's on the map, we talked about those GPS coordinates. Right? These are people at Towson University tweeting. All right, so again, it's all public. It's from their phone. They told their phone it's okay to use my GPS location. They sent a tweet, and I'll turn on the graphic, and there we go. So that's the Towson U dorms. And so you can imagine some of the conversations I see coming out of there. But it's all public, all 100% public, all public. This is Big Mac. Yep, there's a Twitter feed on Bing. So if we talked about social engineering, all right, if I want to sell a product to college kids at Towson University, I'm going to go read what they're tweeting about and then market a product that way. All right, so that stuff is out there, and it's out there. I know we're running close, so I'm going to push. So here's a reality check. Okay, when it comes to passwords, how many of you share your passwords with other people? I know there's more of you than that. All right. Listen to me when I say this. Do not share your password with your friends. There's no reason to do it. There are a lot of times that I see people post crap that wasn't them. It was their friend that did it, or their so-called friend. Don't share your password. Your parents is one thing. They need it to kind of check up. All right? They still are your parents. They should be checking up on you. Don't give your password to your friends. If something stupid happens and you trace it back to one of your so-called friends, you better tell somebody here to help you out. All right? College recruitment, we touched on this a little bit. This stuff's going to come back. All right? When you go to apply for college, it's going to come back. Trust me. Scholarships, we come back to reputation. Now, Mason talked about one. Here's another one that just broke last week, or actually March 29th, if you all watch it. There were high school girls that took not good photos and sent them to their friends. They never posted them on Facebook. They didn't put them on Instagram. They gave them to their friends, and their so-called friends turned around, created a Facebook page, and put them all up there for the world to see. County police got involved. FBI got involved. Right? A lot of people are going to take some heat for this one, but the damage to their reputation is done. People took screenshots. They sent them to their friends. Just because Facebook took them down, there's still a lot of those photos out there. Right? So if you're doing that type of stuff, I understand that, hey, it seems like a good idea at the time and nobody's going to see it. Delete it while you still can. Delete it while you can. For those of you using ask.fm, this is probably the #1 place where I feel like I know you very well, because you all will answer any question that anyone asks you. And again, it's all public. So I could, if anyone in here asked me some of the questions out there, I would turn as red as this chair. All right, I wouldn't talk about it. But folks your age, maybe because you don't realize it's public or it seems innocent, I'm just going to reply. Who's going to care? It's going to stay out there. Whether it's somebody doing a presentation, a college admissions counselor, or a creepy person, it's out there. All right, I normally do not put pictures of myself in presentations, but I did this for a reason. 2 weeks ago, Mason was present for this. We had an FBI agent out of the Baltimore field office who's in cybercrime, and one of the Department of Justice chief attorneys talking about cybersecurity. And what I found interesting was one of the #1 things that the FBI is watching right now is Kik. There is so much activity, illegal activity, happening in Kik because criminals specifically think that it's not traceable. It is a gold mine of information for the FBI. All right, so the other thing that's being caught up in this is people trading photos, especially underage revealing photos. Technically, it's illegal. So don't be surprised if one day you get a follow-up phone call from the FBI if you're sharing some stuff on Kik. They are watching it like a hawk. Okay? And that's why her picture's up there, just to prove. Yes, ma'am?
Is it true that they're also using things like this to prosecute cyberbullying cases? There was one out in Ohio recently. So it's not just the photos, but it's the words being used.
Everything. It's all admissible in court. The problem is, if your account, if you've shared your password with someone, sometimes it's difficult to prove who did it. But if the photo's there, the photo's there. Once it's out, your reputation's cooked. So all of this stuff is 100% admissible in court, as are your text messages. And if you think just because you delete the text message off your phone, the carrier is required to keep it by law for at least 6 months. All right, so if somebody needs to get something back, all they have to do is subpoena it and get it. All right? So we talked about this. It's one of the big points. What you do out there is permanent. So how many of you have honest conversations with your parents about this stuff? I want to see a lot more hands if I come back here in 6 months. All right, you guys have to talk to your parents about this. Your parents kind of don't understand it. I get that. All right, it's your job to help them understand it because you do know more in the world of technology than they do. All right, they know enough to be dangerous. They know enough that this stuff is going to come back. Talk to them about it. You all seem very comfortable sharing information. You should have no problem sharing it with your parents at this point because you've already put it out there. All right, so start an honest conversation. If you're, I'll put it to you this way, if you're in, based off what you've seen today, if you're in a bad spot and need help, go see Miss Ford, and then she'll either, we can help with some things, or we'll get her to the right person that can to help you start fixing it now. All right, don't let it hang out any longer. All right, so what can you do? Number one, know what you're sharing. If you walk out of here with anything today, think twice before you hit send, or post, or tweet, or whatever it is, whatever app you're using. And I know there's probably 10 more apps that you're using that I don't even know about, because it changes every day. Know the apps that are on your phone. Read that box. Can we use your GPS data? Can we use your phone information? Know what it is you're agreeing to. Know your device. You all are tech savvy. You know what it does. You know what it's capable of. But know what it's doing when it's sending stuff out and who it's sharing with. You guys should be pretty skeptical. Hopefully you're skeptical when you walk out of here about what it is that you're sharing. And I hope that's what you walk out with. Again, it's awareness. It's not paranoia. It's awareness. Education is key. You guys now know. Share it with your friends. Share it with your parents. This is why we go to different schools. We're back next week to talk to the upper school for the same reason. And make good decisions. Think about what you do. I know you all don't like to think before you act. I still don't. But before you share something, think about it. And I know, especially, think about this summer. When you're in Ocean City, your parents aren't around, and it seems like a good idea to take that photo and send it. Think twice. If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing at your age, and you take a photo of it, it's going to come back to haunt you. Right? Someone's going to find it, you're going to give it to someone, you're going to text it to someone, somebody's going to grab your phone and see it and text it to themselves and think they're going to be cute, and it's not going to be good. Right? So think about it. And if something isn't right, find an adult you trust and go to them. There are ways folks can help, and it's not all doom and gloom, but there are things you can do. So I'll be happy to answer as many questions as I can in the time I know. How much time do we have this for?
About 3-4 minutes.
Okay. All right, so one more point, then I'll take questions. All right. I know I gave you a lot of info today. I still think all this stuff is good, good tools. It's a great place to share things that are appropriate. I'm not telling you to don't use Facebook, don't use Twitter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be responsible about it. You're in the driver's seat for this. It's not me anymore. You're in the driver's seat. It's your information. It's what you choose to share. If you make decisions, learn now. Decisions will come back. Okay. So, anybody have any questions? Either for me or Mason. Mason, can you be my question guy up there?
When you were talking about how the companies that don't cost any money to join still make money off of what we post, I don't really understand what you're saying.
So if you post a picture on Instagram, you've given them permission to use it, sell it. When you're clicking on ads, if you're on a site and you click on the ad, they get paid a penny every time somebody clicks on that. So they're using you as that revenue generation tool. All right, it's a cool business model. For anybody interested in economics, it's an awesome business model. There's a couple behind this.
I have more of like a comment, I guess. On Facebook, they have tons of ads that they use, so I guess it's not exactly, they want us to click on it, I never do. And then they have like games, and you can like buy coins and like things like that on Facebook, so it's not really free. It is for us, but they're still making money off of it, so it's not like they're not profiting. So some people like want to protect it, and they're like smart about it, but I agree with you, it's not everybody. But
there are some paid apps that are out there, that's true.
that random people are watching you?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if anything, I was this random person. Let's go back. This is random person watching you. All right, I'm that random guy that just goes out and reads random tweets.
Can I even say, this slide, Mr. Morrow doesn't have enough time. This slide, what he does, if we had more time, he'd show you how all you do is you just click on one of the tweets and then you click on it. You can see what they're posting. So it's not just observing like, oh, there's someone in that building who's tweeting. You can read what they have.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
What if I block you on Twitter? Will you still be able to read my tweets?
Yes. Yes. It takes about 5 minutes, but yes. Remember, Twitter was created to be a public service. So public infers no privacy. So yeah, there is a way to do it. I might talk to you later about that. I won't tell the whole group because some people want to keep their stuff private. It's not hard to figure out. Yes, sir.
So I tried deleting my Twitter and I think I did, but is there an actual true way of deleting it?
It's still there. So if you want to go back and 2 years from now reactivate your account, it will be the way it was the day that you deleted it.
And it's in the Library of Congress.
Yes. Everything you tweet is in the Library of Congress.
There.
It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. Are we out?
Yeah, we're out.
Sorry.
All right. Bye.